and the nail place. But I don't think it's going to be for a few more weeks.
And a while, yeah.
Now, Marion, did they get the vaccine yet?
No.
Nope. We're low man on the totem pole. If you look at the list, Canada's the very lowest, and Pfizer is fooling around with us. They are not giving us very much. They didn't give us anything last week. They're still working on the long-term homes, the nurses and everybody, doctors, but they haven't given any to us common people yet. So I don't know. I'd probably be May or June till I see anything. I don't know.
My sister's in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is number 49 as far as COVID.
We're 47.
Bucks County.
Well, we're probably 100. I don't know. We're right at the very bottom if you look at the list of countries.
Yeah. And I've been told that I'm going to have my operation sometime in spring, but I'm not going to take it unless I get a vaccine first. Yeah. I'll tell you right now.
That's right.
Right. Good.
I know.
Fran, what do you have to have done?
I'll have to have the right hip replaced. I had the left
one. Oh, you did the other knee.
Yeah, now it's not the knee, the hip, the hip.
The hip. So you're not going to. No, well, we don't know when we're going to get the vaccine. Who knows?
No.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started, so some of us can travel to Israel right after. I'm going to mute everyone.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice to see everybody. We only have a small group with us, and I hope that means that everyone remembered that we're starting early today because some of us, as I said, are getting on an airplane and going to Israel right afterwards. So hope everybody is well and healthy, and I've heard all the discussion about vaccines and surgeries. And Fran, you know, we know you were canceled twice. We wish you were fresh, Lehman. We hope you're not in too much pain over the winter in that hip. Hope everybody is okay. Another snowstorm coming to the east, and I'm so sorry about that. I really am.
No, you look so sorry, Debbie.
No, you're not. I am actually. No, I am, because I know people like Razel can't move her car to come into the office because if she moves her car, she won't find a parking space. So I understand the dilemmas of living in the city with snow. And Razel, we're sorry. Don't move your car and don't come into the Women's League office. We'll be fine. You'll come in a couple of weeks when everything melts.
And I'll ship you some of the 4 inches we got last night.
Yeah, and the temperatures I know are very, very cold, and that's what's really scary because that causes so many issues. So this morning Rabbi's on a day off. She has an appointment today. So I know Ann Schoenberg is singing for us, and Sally's going to read the list. Sally, did you get the corrections on the list? I want to make sure. Sally Greenstein, yes? She said yes. Okay, good. And Doreen is reading the psalm. And yes, Doreen, I got the second email from you. Thank you so much. And Debbie Lempert is teaching and pushing slides. So we appreciate everybody's help to make this a true holy community. And so, Anne, if you'd like to unmute and sing, we'd love to hear your voice.
Thank you. Okay. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor Habracha Liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Anne. Doreen, if you want to unmute.
A psalm of Asaph. God rises in the court of the mighty. pronouncing judgment over the judges? How long will you pervert justice? How long will you favor the wicked? Selah. Champion the weak and the orphan. Uphold the downtrodden and destitute. Rescue the weak and needy. Save them from the grip of the wicked. But they neither know nor understand. They wander about in darkness while the earth's foundations are shaken. I thought you were godlike, children of the Most High, but you will die like mortals, like any prince will you fall. Arise, O God, and judge the earth, for your dominion is over all nations.
Thank you, Anne. Long day. Okay.
So I'm going to read the slide and then I'll take it off. Rabbi Zadok said, "Do not make the words of Torah a crown for self-gratification, nor an implement for one's livelihood. So too," Hillel used to say, "one who exploits the crown, the Torah, for personal benefit, shall fade away. Thus, whoever derives personal benefit from the words of Torah removes themselves from this world." Pirkei Avot 4:7. So I'm going to stop so I can see my notes, which of course decided to disappear at this time. So give me one moment. I think there's too many things open. So Rabbi Zadok, just so I can give you some background on him, he was a contemporary of Rabbi Joshua ben Hananiah and Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. Those were the 5 rabbis that we studied several weeks ago when we looked at each one of their teachings. He was known for fasting to try to prevent the destruction of the temple. When the temple was destroyed, Rabbi Zadok was so ill from fasting that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai asked the Roman commander to give him medical care. Thus, he was a role model for using fasting as a tactic for civil disobedience and spiritual resistance. He also modeled humility. When I first read this Mishnah, I was struck again by how harsh it is, the same feelings that I've had about other Mishnahs that we've read. However, once I explored it, I saw that there really are some good lessons to be learned. The major one, first one I discovered was, don't judge a book by its cover. The wording may seem difficult, but the sentiment behind the wording can hold a lot of meaning. I'm only going to focus on the first 2 lines. The first line is the Mishnah, and the second line is Hillel's commentary. Do not make them a crown for self-exaltation, nor a spade with which to dig. In researching this Mishnah, I learned from Pirkei Avot Lev Shalem with Gordon Tucker and Tamar Elad Applebaum that back in the time when the temple stood, there was this ruling that no physical object that belonged to the temple could be used for private purposes. Later on, the rabbis would refer to this as hekdish, which comes from the word sacred in Hebrew. If one used an object from the temple for one's private purposes, it was considered a me'ilah. It was sacrilegious and a breach of trust. Well, we no longer have a physical temple in Jerusalem, nor do we have any of the contents. So now the Torah and its teachings are considered intellectual property, and therefore those same rules apply to teaching Torah. To use Torah knowledge to gain recognition or prestige, a crown, literally, or even worse for personal gain are considered a me'ilah, a breach of distrust and sacrilege. This teaching was so important that the authors felt the need to include and paraphrase Hillel in his teaching that he that puts the crown to his own use shall perish. After this destruction of the temples, this really did become an issue. During temple times, the priests ran the temple and received the offerings from the people to sustain them. But once the temple was destroyed and there were no longer priests, whose job was it to keep Judaism alive? This job fell to Torah teachers, but these Torah teachers also had full-time jobs or other professions. The challenge arose of how to provide compensation for these full-time teachers of Torah because they needed to provide for their families. This continued to be an issue even after the state of Israel was formed, to provide teachers for full-time Torah teaching. The solution was that the teachers of Torah are not paid for teaching. Instead, the pay is replacing, they call it a cost opportunity replacement. They're paid to replace the earnings they would have gotten on a full-time job or profession. They aren't paid to teach Torah, they're subsidized. Tamara Lott Applebaum added her thoughts on this teaching, questioning the intentions of the learner. One must not approach learning Torah to increase one's status or personal gain. Learners should focus on learning Torah to teach outward, to give it back to the world, not keep it inside. And I think I taught about that at one of the rabbis, the 5 rabbis had that same vision. Rabbi Shmuley Yanklowitz from Pirkei Avot, a social justice commentary, points out that Rabbi Zadok's humility through his fasting was so important. Some religious leaders are arrogant. They act superior as if only they hold the truth. This is the kind of behavior that this Pirkei Avot warns about. Religious leaders should enjoy their religious life, but the knowledge and the status that they gain from learning Torah shouldn't be used to up their status. Yet, unfortunately, humanity cannot always learn and live by this teaching. You can look back in history and see so many tragic events where this teaching wasn't heeded. In recent history, one doesn't have to look too far back at Hitler's reign and the crimes he committed against humanity in the name of religion or in the name of wiping out a religion. He looked inward, his ultimate goal to rule the world. A positive example of leadership in this style is Israel's first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion. His leadership style is looking outwards toward others, not inward. And here's a quote from him. "You must have confidence in your people, often greater than they have in themselves. For the true political leader knows instinctively the measure of man's capacities and can rouse him to exert them in times of crisis." He goes on, "A political leader must spend a lot of time thinking, and he must spend a lot of time educating the public and educating them anew." Well, we could say that Hitler did a good job at the second part, educating, or in his case, corrupting the public. His aim was inward, not outward, the goal of this teaching. This Pirkei Avot teaches us that we should lead humbly, which requires patience and the continual struggle with our moral choices. In our 24/7 society with social media, where we want immediate feedback and immediate response, it's hard to be patient. It's hard to wait for results. Our society has become very me-oriented. This teaching reminds us that as good leaders, we need to take action, but we must constantly reflect and adjust our thinking. We should work for the greater common good and not the good of our own. So thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Debbie. Okay. Terrific. Sally, if you'd like to unmute, and I guess I should ask if anyone has any comments or want to ask Debbie any questions. It's pretty complete. Wonderful teaching. A couple of comments for you, Debbie, in the chat. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, Sally, you're on.
thank you. Today we lovingly remember Phyllis Grusin Weinstein, Evelyn Seelig, Sue Press, Leona Elligberg, Dolores Megan, Phyllis Haas, David Copeland, Ivan Stanton, Hilda Stern, Sylvia Krause, Hope Dellin, Herb Blue Bars, Hannah Bat-Shimon Vakarline, Ellen Babbitt, Theodore Fishman, Richard Marek, Lillian Tobias, Doris Hildebrand, Ruth Lewis Bloomfield, Michael Klingbaum, Michael Schrank, Shirley Shapiro, Carol Hope Taub, David Levy, Sandy Ironi, Sandra Silberman, Yvette Caitlin, Rabbi Michael Kane, Marvin Fish, Oscar Warnick, Ilana Finkelstein, Bernice Albert, Toby Case, Harry Polico, Ernestine Loeb Hamill Erkin, Shelley Barra, Miriam Clow, Effie Pollack, Arnie Levinson, Marla Goldberg, Barbara Roth Roberts, Saul Fishman, Davida Shipkowitz, Irv Shapiro, Ike Cohen, Rabbi Stephen Lerner, Nan Freed, Barbara Kaplowitz, Rabbi Eric Wilner, Jace Diaz, Joan Smith, Louis Smith, Jerry Pliskin, Bernice Paul, Yossi Goldstein, Isidore Goldberg. Are there any others?
I think I had added Irv Shapiro. I didn't hear it if you said it.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry. I apologize.
May their memories be a blessing.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you so much. And I don't know if we have someone to lead Mourner's Cottage. Debbie, I don't think anybody signed up, no? Okay. Would someone like to volunteer who's saying cottage or not saying cottage?
I'll do it, Debbie.
Jeanette?
Yeah. I'll do it.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you very much.
Welcome. You're welcome. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabba,
Amen.
V'yamad Divra, Kirutev, V'yamlich, Malchutei, V'chayachon, Uvyomechon, Uvchaye, Dechol, Beit Yisrael, Agala, Uvizman, Raid, V'yamaru, Amen.
Amen.
Yehei, Shmei, Abba, Ra, Leolam, Omei, Amaya, Yitzhara, Yishabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitraman, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yithalel, Yithalal, Shemei, Yikudashah, Rihu, Le'ela,
Min,
Kol, Birchata, V'shirata, V'shuchata, V'nechamata, Damiran, V'yama, V'yamafru, Amen. Yehei, Shlama, Rabba,
Min,
Maya, Chaim, Aleinu, Al Israel, Imaru, Amen.
Oseh
Shalom, Imramav, Hu Ya'aseh Aleinu, V'al Israel, Imaru, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Jeanette, were you reciting Mourner's Cottage in memory of someone?
I've been ongoing for several people.
Okay. May their memories be for a blessing, Jeanette. Thank you
you.
for doing that. Okay. So I want to thank, as always, Debbie Lempert and Toby Holtzman for holding up the fort, the ship, everything, and keeping us afloat. It's wonderful to be together. I really do hope that everyone realized that we were an hour early today and that some of our friends don't get on at 12 expecting us to be here. But we thank you for being together and providing some of us the opportunity to recite Mourner's Cottage and say the Mishberach. The list just grows.
Debbie, a couple
yes,
days
Debbie.
ago, Mary and Tully wanted to share something. Is that right, Mary?
Oh, you are so right, Debbie, and we have time. Marion, do you still have that reading to do? Okay, but you're muted. We'd love to hear it. Thank you, Debbie. Very
It's
good.
called The Secret of Living.
Okay.
Make each day a magnificent adventure. Accept challenges that come your way. Seize each opportunity that you find without concern for what others might say. Experience each day with open arms, savoring both the victory and the strife, welcoming the good and the bad together for only then will you know the joy of life.
Very nice.
It was among my sisterhood stuff, and I must have read it somewhere, so I dug it out.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone have a wonderful day, safe and healthy.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure, Deb.
Thank you. After I announced yesterday, I got this flood of emails of women signing up to do things. We still have several Misha Barachs left. We have I think the Kaddish lists are filled, but we have several small roles reading the Psalms. So if you've been wanting to do something, please go on, sign up. If you don't have the link, email me and we'll sign you up. We couldn't do this without your help. So thank you so much.
So we can stay on a few minutes if you just want to put it in the chat. If you don't have Debbie's email, and she'll take you from the chat and help you. We can do that.
Audrey wants to say something.
Sure.
This coming Sunday,
yes,
Temple Israel, Women of the Temple, the Sisterhood, is having their Rosh Chodesh session. The topic is Yachad, together to help make a well-dressed corpse. If anybody would like to join us, I'll be glad to send them the link. I just happen to know the person who's doing it personally.
Why don't you put the link right in the chat now? Can you do that, Audrey? And we'll stay on a minute till everybody gets their and Debbie did put okay, we'll stay on a minute for you. We won't get off. Debbie Lempert put in the chat the sign up link. So if you'd like to sign up, for those of you that are a little bit shy and don't want to sing and don't want to read Hebrew or English, you know, there are some small things. Read the Psalm in English. You don't have to sing them Sheberach, but we do need some help. We have some places for volunteers, and some of you, as I scroll through, have never participated. You're just here every day as part of our community, but we'd love to hear your voice. So
I can't put that in, but I will. I'll try to do that tomorrow.
You know, Audrey, if you email it to me or Debbie Lempert, we can do that for you tomorrow.
Okay.
You want to do that?
I'll do that later today.
Very good. And then we'll put it in. We'll figure out a way to do it for you.
I'm having my first shot today. So.
Oh my God.
Hey. All right. Do you have the blessings?
Debbie, do we have the link for Masorti? Do we have the link here?
It came yesterday morning at 7 o'clock and in the morning, and then it came later in the day again, or it came today. It came yesterday. Now, Marion, look for it under. It comes under Schechter. It doesn't come under Masorti or Women's Health. So look for Schechter. That's the problem. Some people weren't looking for the right email. And if it's not in your email, it might be in your spam. Judy Kenter yesterday found it in her spam.
Okay.
So it came yesterday, and I think again today. I can't remember. It came twice, but it's under Schechter.
Oh, you know, mine came at 3:30 in the morning today.
Okay.
Time, right.
I'm sure they have thousands, and as they send them out, they come at different times.
And they came in Hebrew. Can I ask a follow-up question about the Masorti?
Wait a second. It comes in Hebrew, and then at the bottom is English. The Hebrew is at the top, and then English is at the bottom. And they're starting with the Mariv service, which is kind of weird because for me, it's like,
right,
11:30 in the morning, but okay. Yes, Marlene, yes.
Is there any way tomorrow that people can share what they took or didn't take? Because I signed up with less information than I would have liked to.
Funny you should ask that question, because Debbie Lempert and I were just discussing Rabbi might extend her personal day for tomorrow, and she's supposed to teach. So if Rabbi doesn't teach, Debbie and I were, and Toby, sorry, I didn't dial you in on this, but we were thinking about what we do for a program tomorrow. So maybe if Rabbi doesn't come tomorrow because her appointment extends, that's what we'll do. We'll talk about the Israel Day of Study, and people can share what they learned. So thank you. That's a great idea.
And if any of them are repeats in the subsequent days, if people could try to catch them, that would be helpful.
Well, it'll be it's going to
repeat.
They all repeat.
Okay, so that we could try a new class and a new instructor next time.
Because I had no
so
idea.
I have to tell you a little secret that a lot of people who went in June know. If you're not crazy about the class you're in, you can actually switch classes. You're able to move from class to class to class, or at least that's how it was in June, and I expect that today will be the same way. But they just want to know how many people register for each class to make sure that a teacher has a full class and is not teaching to 2 students. But in June, we were able to move from class to class to class, and I hope, we're live on Facebook. Deb, maybe you could take this off. But we were able